Hey Scorpio, welcome to your reading. I'm Empress Rose. These are general readings, so we take what works and we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. If you haven't figured it out already, now is your opportunity. That I am slowing these readings down. December was very busy for me, and I'm still behind on lots of things, and I just need to slow these down for a little bit. My plan is to pick back up again in the new year, but we'll see what happens. So I'm starting with an intuitive reading of oracle cards here, and then we'll move to the Muse tarot for a more traditional tarot spread. All right. I've already got 3 cards from the Oracle Mystical Moments, and we're looking now for 1 or 2 from the Moonology and Work Your Light deck. Anything from Moonology? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll just take this one. That sounds good. Oh my gosh, Scorpio. Oh, one of my favorite cards. Haha. Okay. It's beautiful. And funny. Let's see here. So you have all is connected. This is just one little tweak can change the whole story. Just one little change, one little switch up. You do it. You do the changing. You do a little bit of change and it changes everything. So we've got these leaves as symbols of change. This is also my Anansi, my storyteller card. So this is talking about how we tell a story, how we conceive of something, how we talk about something. It's all is connected, all is interconnected. And the stories we tell ourselves are connected to our reality, connected to our relationships with other people. So how we talk about something, how we talk about ourselves, our dreams, our past experiences, all of that has an effect on our whole reality and our shared tapestry of reality here. So, but this is just one little tweak, one little thing. You change something and it brings in a lot of change. Everything's connected, and we just change the way we talk about something, change the way we refer to something or something like that. And it creates a much bigger change and connects to everything else. We also have new directions. I prefer to call it redirections. So this was a plan. There was a plan here. It seemed really awesome, really good. It made a lot of sense. Maybe there were some other people involved, maybe not, but there was this whole plan here. It looked to us like a plan. It looked to you like, oh my goodness. It looked to you like a plan. And then this wind came along, just, life came along, changed everything, and it blew on this plan, and it turned out that wasn't actually a very solid plan. It wasn't what we thought it was. So things kind of fell apart, and then but here we are. We're smart. We took our little parachute here. We jumped on some other opportunity that this opened up. We saw, in a way, it's like you see reality. You see what this is all about. And then you take a chance or an opportunity on something else, the real thing, the actual thing. This little seed here is a seed for the future, and it's meant to fly and it's meant to go. This original shape here was never meant to hold its shape, but it was meant to break apart. So you tried to do something, you had a plan, you thought something was going to go a certain way, the winds came, everything changed, and I think it's related to this. Like everything is connected and sort of everything's connected. So the decision to jump ship here and to go with a plan B or an alternative that showed up, you're either there or you're going to be there. It's going to require some quick thinking and some realizations, some really looking at reality. What really is this? This was never meant to be like this. This was never meant to last forever. It got you where you needed to be so that you could take the actual plan, the actual seed, the actual potential thing for the future. You're not very in charge of the situation. There's a sense of just kind of scrambling to grab an opportunity. And maybe that's what all is connected is about, is that you, there's a strong wind coming through both of these. So there's this thing outside of your control. I want to say spirit coming through, blowing through. It's all connected. And it opens up an opportunity for you. So you need to be looking for that opportunity even as something else kind of crumples or falls apart. And I think maybe your the way you talk about the redirection is going to be really important. The way you frame it in your mind as a redirection, not as, oh my gosh, this thing's falling apart. Quick, I have to grab onto something shitty here. It's like, okay, I see what's going on here. This thing's not working. It's not stable. It's not solid. But there's a better opportunity here, a more appropriate opportunity for me, and I'm being redirected. So that could be the narrative, that you approach this situation with, because this is kind of has a crisis vibe, I don't know. It has a crisis vibe to it. These people are screaming and yelling because they're going to be plummeting because they're not taking the opportunity, but you're over here taking the opportunity. So I think that this all is connected, this story. How are you going to talk about the redirections in your life? How are you going to talk about when a plan doesn't work out and then you have to take an alternative route to where you want to go, or you just, are you going to talk about it as redirection, as divine stepping in, divine guidance towards your truer path? Or are you going to talk about it as in like, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart. This is so horrible. I mean, we can have like moments like that, but overall, what's the narrative you're bringing to the situation? And then we have bloom here. This is about listening. I feel like it's about listening and connecting, intuitive hits. I think it's going to guide you here to the seed, to realize, to understand, to listen to, and hear the reality around you. So there's a sense of being connected. There's a sense of listening, intuitive listening, being very connected to the energies in the universe, the energies out there. It's bloom. So maybe this is how you can be talking about this redirection is a blooming, a new thing happening. Instead of focusing so much on the thing falling apart, you can focus more on the idea that you're blossoming, that you're connected to opportunities, that you're connected to, listening to the universe, listening to your intuition, and blossoming and growing in your new situation, because you're grabbing onto a seed here. A seed talks about potential. It talks about very real potential. It talks about, the potential to bloom wherever you land, sort of a bloom where you're planted, but I don't think you're going to be planted. I think you're going to be, blown somewhere, and then you're going to be able to bloom where you're going. So just making sure we're framing things in a way that's helpful for us, and for our highest good, and in a way that, my heater. In a way that's helpful for us, in a way that feels good too, right? Because it feels better than, it feels, I'm being redirected to a place where, that's more appropriate for me, or better fit for me, where I can actually bloom. That is going to feel a lot better to explain the situation than, oh my gosh, everything fell apart. I'm plummeting to the ground. So I feel like there's something going to happen here, or is happening here, that you're in the midst of. And I think we're talking about framing that, reframing that redirection. A new start is coming. So that's a lot of what this redirection seems to be saying to me, grabbing onto that seed, this old thing falling apart. Okay, that sucks, but we've got a new start coming, and we can't have that new start without that old thing falling apart. I mean, I think we could technically, but that's not typically the way of the world. That dandelion ball has to get blown apart in order for any of those seeds to find the ground, to find where they're meant to go. Okay, all right, Scorpio. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Yeah, there's a lot of reframing that needs to happen of whatever you're going through right now. Kind of like it. In your past, in your recent past, you've had 4 voices. This is taking a break, a time out. Hopefully you use that for rejuvenation. It can also be regrouping. It can be regrouping after a crisis like this, regrouping what's the next plan. But this involves like actually some rest, some taking some time away, being on a break if we're talking about a relationship, being on a break. And then the four voices also, it can, just a time of rejuvenation and rest, possibly having been laid off. Did you use that time to rejuvenate, to rest up, to recalibrate to reality as you see it? I mean, that's a lot of this card, is recalibrating to the reality, seeing the reality and recalibrating to it. But there's a sense of rest and renewal here, a time away, time off, just a break, and hopefully it was restful for you. And then in your current situation, you have 5 of materials. So again, I'm getting that the sense of lack, because this thing didn't turn out. This thing did not come. It didn't hold. It didn't hold. I'm reminded of that Indigo Girls song, the boat song. If the weather holds, we'll have made it fine. But then if the weather holds, what was the point? Something like that. Anyway, so if the weather holds, you would have made it fine, but it didn't. And then you saw the reality here. So 5 of materials is a card of feeling left out, being left out. It could be self-selected. You could, the doors are open here. You could go in. There's almost like an invitation to go into this warm space. But there's a sense of being left out, a sense of lack. That could be coming just from you. That could be coming from the way you're framing a situation, the way you're looking at the situation, is being left out. It is a 5 of materials. It's a harsh place. There's limited resources, limited time, limited money. There is, and then you're feeling it and you're very focused on it. It does have a sense of being focused on lack, on what you don't have. And then right next to you, there's plenty. So do you have access to this plenty? In this card, we've got it as like almost an invitation to come in. But here you are like intentionally sleeping right outside these open doors in the dark, right outside. You're in this cold, harsh light when there's this warm invitation right here. But in a way, you've chosen to turn your back on it, or you've chosen to focus on feeling alone, feeling poor, feeling whatever. Not that those things aren't real states and aren't real emotions. It's just a sense of a choice of focus. And I feel like how we're going to talk about things and how we're viewing things. So right now there's a sense of lack. There's a real lack mentality. You could be very focused on this thing falling apart, and not on the opportunities that are all around you in this moment, which is fine. I don't want to criticize like a grief process or a sorrow or a frustration or that initial panic we have when our plan falls apart. That's normal and fine, but that's where you're at. 5 of materials can become a choice, can become a decision to see things through a lens of lack instead of a lens of opportunities or a lens of redirection or something like that. It can be a sense of seeing something through and being very focused on all that you don't have, without really even turning around to realize the invitation or the invitation towards abundance, but not being able, either not being in a space where you can, or having made such habitual choices about what to think about and what to focus on that you're in this zone of lack. In your inner landscape, we have a sense of feeling trapped, but it's all you. So in your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, this is you're feeling this lack. I feel like with these 2 cards, this 5 of materials and this 8 of voices right here, right? This is a dark place. There's a warm place possible, but this is about you keeping your own self in bondage. So every time you say, I don't have, this is horrible, I'm trapped, you're the one that's binding your own mind, binding your own vision to a place of being of trapped and stuck and a bit of a nightmare. This card is very specific, that it's in your head and it's your own shitty mantra that's creating the problem. The problem does not, there may be problems in your reality. I don't want to dismiss that, but there's some sort of shitty mantra going on here. And it's just matching what came out in this intuitive reading of the oracle cards. So this Eight of Voices this is like these guys right here, like, oh my God, everything's falling apart. We're just going to plummet to our death. This is the Five of Materials. Oh my gosh, we don't have anything. Everything's falling apart. We're plummeting to our death. And this is the opposite of that. This is someone with a very different narrative, someone with a much better mantra. This person is like, okay, this is really happening. This is real. And they adapt very quickly. They grab onto the next opportunity. They accept the redirection and move. They're very solution oriented. They're very, they're looking for opportunities. They know that every situation like this creates opportunity. So they're looking from, so there's a different mentality. And I think that that's what this all is connected is about, is shifting the narrative, shifting your mentality, shifting your shitty inner mantra to, I'm totally alone. You may be very alone. But there's something in your mind that's keeping you there, that's trapping you there. You may be broke, but there's something in your mind in some way that you're viewing it, some way that you're viewing yourself, some narrative. The Eight of Voices is all about the narrative of your inner monologue about what's going on in your life. And it looks like it's shitty right now. And then so then we have, what's the issue here is this reverse Knight of Emotions. So the Knight of Emotions in the upright is going to be about communicating, about growth, about communicating or movement, an offer of love, an offer, some sort of communication about a deep emotional truth, about some growing emotions. But it's in reverse. So someone's not communicating about how they really feel about a situation. You may not be communicating about how you feel about a situation, or you may be not getting the communication that you wanted. Like maybe there's somebody that you have your eye on and they're not communicating with you. It could be also a job or an opportunity and you're not hearing back from them. This was a whole plan and you're not hearing back from somebody, or somebody's withholding their emotions, withholding emotional communication, or not moving emotionally, not growing emotionally. But the Knights are about movement and communication, or not being very brave about their feelings, about their emotions, not having the courage to express an emotion, because courage is at the foundation of so much connection and vulnerability, and so much of what we do actually requires more courage than I think most of us were actually born with. So it's a muscle we've got to grow. In your environment, we have Nine of Materials. This is someone who's very successful. This might not be you. Maybe you're still in this hat and you're trying to figure out how to get here. It's a mind. It's going to be something. It's going to be a mantra or a way of you change of thinking. Something that's connected to how you get out from here, from this panic mode. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. I'm plummeting to my death. To I'm free. I've got something at least, and I'm moving. The switch between these two is very scary and takes a lot of courage. There's somebody, though, that did it. There's somebody here that's very successful. This Nine of Materials, there's someone, or there's something in your environment that's very successful, has really taken off, has the time, the money, the energy they need to accomplish things. You could be feeling very jealous and very left out of the success that someone else has experienced. Jealousy is a very normal emotion. It's just best to acknowledge it openly and then deal with it from there. But it is very normal. And so this is someone else or some situation around you. I don't feel like you feel like you're part of the situation. I feel like you're watching this person and being like, wait, how did you get there? And it's a mind trick. And then your to-do list is Ace of Materials. This is like beginning a new job, beginning a new journey, beginning something that you're going to be spending your time on, it's the beginning of an idea of abundance. It might be the entrepreneur's like business plan or original idea. You've seen someone else do this. You're not sure how to get there from where you're at. But there is a sense, this Ace of Materials is the beginning, the intention to earn money, the intention to the idea to like, oh, I think I want to be a farmer. The beginning, the intention, it begins here. So your job is to clarify your intentions. Oh my gosh, to look at, oh my gosh, I can't believe to clarify your intentions, what you want. You're very focused on what you don't want. You're very focused on not having what you want, on being trapped, on being stuck. For whoever's reading this is very focused on being trapped, on being stuck. But this Ace of Materials is all about setting your intentions. What do you want? And it's this new start is coming. And this Ace of Materials is about a new start. It's about a new start in the 3D having to do with something tangible, money, earnings, career, anything like that. I get such a strong career vibe off of this, but it could be relationship too. What do you want? And start on the path towards what you do want. Drop the focus on what you don't have. Drop the focus on what you can't do. Drop the focus on jealousy and whatever other people might have, and just focus on what do you want? And setting that initial intention and being very intentional and being very focused, starting a new job, starting something new. This is your job, is to focus on your seed, right? This is the seed for the, this is that initial seed. This is like the map point of like, this is where I want to go, right? On our little phone maps. This is our Google Maps little like pointer of like, this is where I want to go. And so we're just setting that intention on the map of where we want to go, what we want, where we want to get to. And it's like the seed, it's grabbing onto a seed for the future. It's not grabbing onto a half-grown plant. It's not grabbing onto something that's already rooted. It's grabbing onto the intention and the initial intention. And that's what your job is to set an intention for what you do want. It's sitting right under the 5 of Materials here. We know what we don't want. We know we don't have what we wanted. We know we didn't get what we wanted out of this situation. Okay, but what do you want? What do you want? And make sure you have a mantra that can get you there, okay? So it's just a little tweak in the story is all you need. A little tweak. And I think that tweak is setting an intention of what work you do want to do, what you want your next job to look like, or what you want your next relationship to look like, or something like that. And then where you're going is breaking a cycle. Breaking some sort of pattern, maybe of thought, maybe of relating, maybe of relating to jobs or bosses or something like that, or just life is breaking the pattern, realizing that you don't need to do this anymore. You don't need this, either this mentality, these repeated thoughts anymore, or some kind of offer keeps coming in and it's just the same shitty offer. It reminds me of like, trying to not be a secretary anymore. Like, okay, I know I'm really good at that, but I'd really like to do something else. And then something came along and was like, okay, yeah, not going to do that anymore. So it is like, how do I break out of, and it looks like the 4 of Emotions is about breaking out of something you've, a position or a type of relationship or something like that you've just repeated over and over and over again. So it's the opportunity to break out of a pattern. How do we do that? We set our intentions for what we do want and stop focusing so much on what we don't want. And what we don't have and what we don't want, and we're focused more on what we do want, and then this gives us the energy to break a pattern or to break away from repeated shitty offers that we've already indulged in. Oh my gosh, this reading got very long. All right, anything from the Kuan. Oh, I like this. The strength of you. Are you doubting your ability to heal or recover? There's nothing that has fundamentally damaged your spirit, your will, or your heart. No matter how broken those parts of you may feel at times, they've only ever been broken to heal stronger. They have not been broken beyond repair and never will be. I love that. Awesome. Okay. All right, Scorpio, I hope you have a wonderful time period between now and when I see you again.